And we are live. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, for today's episode of Crypto Rewind. Last week in crypto, I'm waiting on my co-host, Satoshi Sean, to log in. And today our guest is Deezy, who is one of the hosts of BitboyCrypto's Around the Blockchain. Now, before we get things started, a few quick messages from the sponsors of Rice TVX, and you can find information down below in the video description for BitSwap DEX, Presearch, and Monarch.
BitSwap is the hottest new way to trade tokens. Crawling all the top decentralized exchanges, BitSwap will get you the very best price and value for your trades. BitSwap is changing the game. Try it now at bitswapdex.com.
All right, now while we're giving time for everybody to get into the stream, and also still waiting on Satoshi Sean, not sure what's going on with him. I did text him and call him, so hopefully everything's all right. He'll be with us in just a moment. But I'm going to play my long promo, which promotes everything going on with all things Rice TVX, and then we're going to get this thing started. If this just happens to be your first time ever watching any of my videos, I do encourage you to check out and explore my channel. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with my videos as they come out. Also, due to all the recent censorship, make sure you subscribe to my backup channel, Rice TVX2, the sequel. And I've also recently deleted more than half of my videos on my main YouTube channel, which means you can find 100% of my content plus exclusive videos over on Odyssey and Library. If you haven't already, be sure to visit ricetvx.com and sign up for the mailing list so that you never miss an update or new Rice TVX content. You can also find all my social media links as well as merchandise that is coming soon. If you'd like to support the channel directly, consider joining my Patreon, where I have 3 different levels of membership, or if you'd like to send a direct contribution or tip, I have my Cash App information, PayPal, and my CoinTree link for cryptocurrency addresses listed below in the video description. Take advantage of my partnership with Money Metals Exchange. Get your free half ounce of silver. All you need to do is be a first-time buyer, visit moneymetals.com, purchase a minimum of $100, and use the promo code RICE. You get that free half ounce of silver, and it's another way to support the channel. I will include links down below in the video description for everything I just mentioned, as well as everything that we talk about on today's show. And look at my boy Satoshi Sean, man. He made it just in time, like literally just in time. So I'm going to have links down below, as I just mentioned in that little promo video, for everything we talked about. I wouldn't normally play that longer version in these videos, but I was trying to give Sean time to get into the stream, and then also trying to give everybody else time to get into the stream. So I'm joined today by the co-host, Mr. Satoshi Sean. What's going on, brother?
Not a lot, man. Not a lot.
You okay?
You know I'm not. Yeah.
I figured maybe the bathroom was calling you or something.
It actually, sure, man. Let's start out with that. It did get called, but I was like, I got time. And then I came, and none of the links worked. Nothing was like, you bastard. All right, but no, I'm good.
Word.
I'm good now.
Cool. I wasn't sure if something happened. Shout out to Litecoin Lisa. She's watching. Make sure you guys are going out and checking out her YouTube channel and subscribe to her channel. And also, Deezy doesn't have a channel, but his link's going to be down below for his Twitter account, which we'll probably share here in just a little bit. And if you don't know who Deezy is, he is one of the hosts of BitboyCrypto's Around the Blockchain. So, Deezy, welcome to Rice TVX. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? You know, we have a meme that I'm not short, so let me fix my camera a little bit. I didn't realize I was going to come off as a midget.
Yeah, I heard you're
my room's a little dirty. I don't mind being a DeFi degen, but like I don't want people to think I'm a IRL degen.
Although, well, I mean, you work a lot, though. You work a lot, so I don't even know when do you get time to go home and clean.
I mean, I walked through the door minutes before we were supposed to do this. That Atlanta traffic. I didn't prepare well enough. I had to go to the liquor store. If I'm gonna be honest, since we're all being honest here.
Yeah, no, that's cool. These
so.
are laid back. These aren't as. I'm not worried about people cussing. Just watch, obviously, what you think would be trigger words.
Yeah.
And we just kind of keep it chill. We're not covering the same generic news that all the other crypto channels would cover. We try to cover things that catch our attention that we think are really important and very relevant. So that's why I kind of chose the ones we had today, which were really just more of opinions on what's going on. But I guess before we get started, have Sean, Deezy, have you guys met?
No. How's it going, Satoshi Sean?
It's going all right. He's lying, man. We grew up together.
All right. He used to bully me when I was little.
Dude, I was
he'd make me trade bad Pokemon card trade.
You guys, as far as your comedy, it's a good match. I can see you two playing off each other really well.
All right.
I was never a bully, man. I was never a bully. I had some friends come over. It's a friend of mine and his wife, who was a friend of mine. And she was like saying something. And my kids were like, "Was my dad a bully in school?" And this friend of mine was like, "Oh, yeah, huge bully." And I was like, "No, I wasn't." And she's like, "No, he wasn't." He was like, "Yeah, he was, man. He used to throw kids in trash cans all the time." And I didn't. Well, one guy. But
he deserved it.
He did. I took him out of the trash can, right? These two dudes put him in a trash can. I go over, I take him out of the trash can. I smack the guys around. I did it. And then he said shit to me. He said some shit. I was like, all right, fine. I just put him back in. We're really good friends now, but,
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, that's hilarious.
All's well that ends well, Sometimes you got to take out the trash,
Yeah.
Sometimes you do. Did you catch today's episode of Around the Blockchain, Deezy? I'm assuming you were at work.
I did. I watched I watched about 25 minutes of it while at the gym. I didn't miss I missed the final topic, but no, it was a good episode. I liked it was our first time for a writer, Nick Demondi, and I liked this little Aaron Burr thing in the beginning,
Yeah,
like
he's a really cool guy. I like
lesson.
him.
Yeah.
I was digging the knowledge drop, so I'm looking forward to seeing like what he brings to the channel and such. And also I wanted to, because I know that Sean has talked to Ben about coming on Around the Blockchain, and Sean's had a lot of issues going on, so he hasn't reached out to you yet. But I figured this would be a way to start that process, because I would love to see Sean on some Around the Blockchains, and him and Ben, they go back. They used to bully kids together.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna give my email to him right here. So yeah, let's make that happen, Sean.
All right. I think I have it. I think Ben gave it to me.
Okay.
But like Rice said, I've had issues. Like he said, I was just in the bathroom, so it's been really rough.
It's been really rough. Yeah.
Is part of it. Tomorrow at 5. In fact, Lisa's here. Lisa, we could do it anytime. I'm not going to go to what I said I was going to go to, but we're doing a special show on grief and dealing with it. So be sure to check that out.
Well, I do want to encourage people to make sure that they check out Deezy's Twitter account. Again, links are going to be down below, and we'll have links for Satoshi Sean's channel as well. So if you guys aren't subscribed over to Satoshi Sean's channel, make sure you're doing that as well. And if you're not subscribed here to Rice TVX, make sure you're subscribed, and also to the backup channel, Rice TVX 2, that sequel. I want to go ahead and start pulling out the articles, but the first thing, and I didn't really want to go into a lot because I figure we'll spend a lot more time on the legislation issues.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's huge. That's the
Bitcoin. I wanted to talk about Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, BSV with the 51% attack. It's really not a lot to say aside from the fact that it was 51% attacked. I think it's personally for me, I think it's kind of awesome because of all the asinine claims that Craig Wright has made about who he claims to be, as far as being Satoshi Nakamoto, and it's just funny. Like if you were really Satoshi, would your blockchain be 51% attacked? So
yeah. Does anyone ever call that the BSV, the bullshit version? I didn't come up with that, did I? Because that seems.
I think you might have. You're good at coming up with stuff on the spot.
If we say it online, it's true. You came up with it just now.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, we should. I
did invent a word though. If you go to the Urban Dictionary,
Urban Dictionary should put it in for you as your second entry.
If you go to Urban Dictionary and put in pea pickle, it's mine. Satoshi Sean.
So yeah, listen to this real quick, Deezy. This man has dreams about members of Blink 182 giving his penis names.
He's
Or a
not
name, not
So
names, but
they're
making it
saying,
sound very
what's
different.
his name again? What's his name again?
Yeah.
Is that like
I
it
didn't
just
even
keeps
think about
looping in
that.
your
What's
dream?
its name again? I didn't even think it was that video too. I didn't think of it, but it's something. And then the guitarist is like, "Hey man, look, your pea pickle. You're running around with your pea pickle." And then I woke up and I was like, "That's got to be a word. That has to be a word for wiener." And I looked it up. There's pea pickle was not a thing. So I told everyone, I was like, "Dude, had this dream. Blink 182 guitarist is like, dude, you're running around with your pea pickle," because it was me in the video, running around naked. And then so they like put it on Urban Dictionary, and Urban Dictionary turned me down 3 times until they finally put it on.
pea pickle.
So, yeah.
Speaking of funny things like that, man, Nick, I guess he's another jokester. I'm not quite sure. Is he a funny dude?
Yeah, he's a pretty clever guy. He's a writer, so I mean, he might have like written a couple ahead of time, but he had about a 20-minute heads up on that he was going to be on the show because we had a last minute cancellation.
Oh, okay.
And, I mean, he knocked it out of the park, I think.
No, he totally did. He told me because I told everybody that you were going to be coming on the show tonight, and he told me to ask you about something, and somebody else commented on it, but told me to ask you about foot rubs.
Oh God, yeah, I'm trying to not make that a thing. So
well, somebody, Andy Lee. Do you know who Andy Lee is?
No.
This is thrilled to see Deezy on here with you, Rice. Hey, Deezy, how about that foot rub?
So on the morning stream today, I accidentally so Cynthia Loomis her picture came up, and I thought she was just a random lawmaker. I didn't know it was one of like the 3 senator allies. So I said, "Look at this face! It's the face of evil." And then someone's like, "Hey, that chat was like, hey, that's Cynthia Loomis. It's Cynthia Loomis. She's on her side." So I was like, Cynthia, I'm sorry. I take it back. Look, what do you want me to do? I'll rub your feet. And then I immediately said, "No, I don't even know why I said that. I will not rub your feet. That is not going to be a thing. I'm not going to rub your feet." And then the chat was just like Deezy versus foot rubs, Deezy versus foot fetish.
Yeah, it just, I mean, I get like, because the whole thing about TJ being fired or TJ quitting, one of the two things, I mean, that's still kind of an ongoing thing,
Yeah,
so
then there's the like, BitBoy versus height meme, that's still going on.
Yeah, because is that why the whole you're 5'10"? Is that where that comes from?
Yeah, so our VP of NFT development is, as long as with myself, we're both 6'3". So when we stand next to Ben, who might be closer to 5'9.5", he just looks real short. So Justin made the meme. He's like, Justin's really tall. Then Justin leaned into the camera on the live stream. He's like, "What are you talking about, Ben? I'm 5'10". So making it seem like Ben is 5'6". So I just continued off that. So I say I'm 5'10", but I'm 6'3". Just so when I stand next to Ben, he looks like really tiny when I say I'm 5'10".
Well, it seems to actually bother him. Like it really gets under his skin about the height issue. I mean, I'm a little over 5'9", so I might be like right underneath the 5'9.5". So if he's like 5'10", I mean, I feel like I'm average height. I don't feel like I'm short.
5'10" is average height for men.
Yeah, that has been lets everyone know quite often. I always say you'll never meet a guy who's 5'11". They'll always just say, "Oh, I'm 6 foot tall. I'm 6 foot tall." It's
Yeah, when I was 12, I was 5'11 and a half, and I would say I was 6 foot.
I believe it.
When I was 12, I was 5'11 and a half, 195 pounds, and had a beard. So I was 12 was a rough time for me, man.
I'm sure it was.
Oh yeah, people expected me to act a certain way, and I was like, not, like, what do you act like?
I thought it was a worthy side, like detour for us to take for a moment. I had to ask about the whole foot rub thing, so I didn't mean to get us off on some crazy.
Hey man, if you help crypto, sometimes you got to take one. You rub Elizabeth Warren's feet.
Oh yeah,
if it helped the crypto industry, I guess I'd suck it up and do it. Not the toes. This is how this happens.
It was a little weird me just saying it, and then when you put the word, suck it up, that's
phrasing issues there.
You guys have anything you want to add to this BSV thing before we move on?
Well, my main thing with the BSV attack is just like, why? Why? Like, why are you devoting the resources? So I almost think it's
because
not
it costs,
like for
it costs
monetary
to do that.
Right. And I don't think it's the hassle of, switching all the miners and everything. I don't think it's someone trying to accrue money. I think it's maybe like a Bitcoin maxi group who just thinks it'd be funny to, to troll
that's what
BSV.
I was thinking too. Because you
Yeah,
ask
that makes
questions,
sense.
when you ask why, that's literally the first thing I think of, just the conspiracy part of me. It's just, you just discredit it, everything that they're going to say. It's
Well, it didn't even really affect
forever
price.
point at that.
Didn't see any price effect, anything like that take place. So, I mean, it's like maybe like a 6%, 7% drop.
Yeah,
overall,
that's the first thing I looked at was the price. And I was just very surprised that, it
held
really
up really
have
well.
that huge 40-80% drop down.
Cool. You got anything you want to add to that, Sean?
Is that because people, believe in it, or because that nobody was really trading it and gave a shit?
That's my opinion. I don't,
Well,
there's wasn't sell pressure or buy pressure.
There's some of those BSV maximalists out there. I mean, like, there's a lot being built on BSV, and some of those people are very cultish about it. So, it's kind of interesting because normally something like this would have a lot more of an impact. So,
I think it's a good word, Chris, to use. I think people should throw the word maximalist out. It's just too positive. I think cultish is much better.
Part of the Bitcoin cult.
When it
BSV cult.
Any kind of maximalism now, it really is it's detrimental, especially at the stage that crypto is at. Because there's a lot of Bitcoin maximalists that would they would love to see all of crypto burn except for Bitcoin, and that's just not good for humanity,
Yeah, we get the cultish behavior, then we get the cult of personality. You see a little bit with Charles Hoskinson. You see it a little bit with Richard Hart. I love Hex and all these other things. I'm not saying anything bad about these protocols, but people become almost fanboys for these personalities, and it's like they're more enamored by the personality than the tech behind, what these people have created.
Yeah, because would that's the good question. Would Hex be as popular if it was started by somebody who was unknown?
Nope.
No.
So, Richard's a master of persuasion and marketing. I had him on the show, ATB, there's one of the show I produce, and
he was like, you should have just had him as a guest because he loves to talk.
Yep. Yeah. And he just employs a lot of high level persuasion techniques that you see, whether it's his tone of voice, the rapidity of speech, the background. Just from A to Z, he employs a lot of high level persuasion techniques. So no, without Richard, I don't think Hex would be a fraction of what it is.
Yeah,
definitely not.
And it's a cool project. I'm not knocking it, but it definitely matters a lot who can be involved with something, how it could affect. You have shitty technology like Tron, but because you have Justin Sun, who's really good with marketing, there's been success regardless of the shitty technology.
Yeah, and FTX also, they're ranked 8 or 10 as far as trading volume, but you would think that they're number 1, and they're far from it.
Yeah, also, Tron. In the earlier days, there was this spaghetti mentality. There was just anything, build anything on it, stick anything on it, connect anything to it. There was the porta potties that were on the blockchain. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Porta potties on the blockchain.
Porta potties that were connected to the Tron blockchain to record shit. It was I remember that.
To record actual shit.
Definitely
to record
like usage.
Yeah, it was it was a joke, but it was real. It was anything, and Justin put it out there like, oh, we just did this. These porta potties are now on the blockchain, and it was like the shit supply chain.
Hey,
it's
I totally forgot to do this like more towards the beginning of the video, but I wanted to remind people that both me and Satoshi Sean have done reviews on a project called Tenset. So I would encourage people to go to my channel and Sean's channel and check out both videos on Tenset. It's a pretty cool project. And then I also did a video that I wanted to give another quick mention for and highlight was this Radix overview because they just had their Olympia mainnet. Radix is using like this distributed ledger technology. It's not blockchain because they don't think blockchain can scale linearly. And so they're using this technology, and they're building a platform that's specifically being built for DeFi, but using distributed ledger technology versus actual blockchain. And then Tencent has this ETF 2.0, which is almost like a commodity backed token. And they're really transparent about everything that they're investing in and what backs the token up. And they're also launching projects. Me and Sean also did a review of MetaHero, yeah.
MetaHero, yeah.
And that was the first project that was built off of the Tencent platform. So it's a really cool thing that this ETF 2.0 deal. Sean, do you have anything you want to add about Tencent?
Well, a lot of it depends on their launch pad, and the projects they get. That MetaHero, it's really cool. It's these like 3D scanners, but they're really, really like they're Hollywood quality scanners to scan. You scan anything. You could scan. Most people could scan themselves, but then you own that digital copy of you, like on an NFT. And the idea is that future video games, instead of like building a character in the beginning, you can just put in your avatar, and it's actually you, 3D rendered, all that. But I think it's cool because you can scan anything. You can scan art. You can scan and then it's completely 3D immersible that anyone can see and can utilize. But then when it comes to like the games and things, like I could scan my dog. She's 15 or 16.
Yeah, we talked about if you wanted like of like have like a 3D preservation of your pet.
Yeah, but then if I'm playing Fallout, like instead of dog meat, I could literally put that avatar and I could go out and kill mutants and stuff with Dax. So that'd be cool.
Yeah, Deezy, the MetaHero thing's a really cool project. I had just promised both these projects I would make another mention of the videos. Me personally, I was late on my deadline, so I was telling them, and it was because of the strike that I got, the second strike I got from YouTube. So it was like out of my control.
Yeah. But no, I mean, the 3D avatar thing is going to be huge, and I think this is a cool technology. I think it will be huge when we finally get some sort of viewing platform that'll allow you to bring in, whether it's a CryptoPunk, whether it's something you made off of MetaHero or anything, like the Bored Apes, and kind of have a 3D representation, even if it's the example I gave was like Duke Nukem or Wolfenstein, where it is a 3D game, but the enemies are 2D. So when you look to the left, you look to the right, they kind of just keep facing you. I think there's someone ought to build a platform for that. It's just, the developer space right now for that ecosystem.
Right. That's cool.
So swamped right now.
Yeah, with the MetaHero thing, man, what's really cool is you can actually invest in owning one of the machines that have all these cameras and stuff that actually take the 3D imaging. So, and the idea is to have these things like placed around the world so that people can go into these different locations and scan themselves, and you can actually have a 3D avatar of yourself or any other item that you wanted to do. Like, be cool to like have sculptures and things like that, or it's just another way of preserving memories of physical items that it eventually decay or something happens to it.
So, Roger Ver said this to me a long time ago, and it's like he said it casually, and it was so profound. He said that the existence of true history did not start until the blockchain was created, because any victor can change things. It's the first time that this happened. Here's pictures, whatever, videos, and it's immutable. And there it is, and no one can ever go back and change it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
If another side takes over a government, 2-3 years later, 5 years later, they can't go back and change that history. It's there forever. So in doing that, like you're talking about this, art and history that we can scan and preserve so that it's always going to be there. It's pretty cool.
And it's not as macabre as stuffing your dead animal,
Yeah, no, that's
with wires.
The taxidermy shit. That's creepy. It would be really cool though, because I know we're going to start having some technologies. I mean, I know now there's like NFT picture frames. So imagine if you can have a digital picture frame that could do like a light image of a 3D sculpture or a piece of art where you could have maybe a bust of Julius Caesar or something like that.
Yeah.
Just floating on your desk.
Yeah, we might actually see more people go to museums, Yeah, I got the actual Sphinx, tomb here. It's in New York Museum of Art or something, and you can go ahead and just scan it. No pictures, but like I'm not taking pictures. I'm scanning for my NFT metaverse.
Oh my God. Yo. Imagine if you had an augmented reality with it. So you could just walk around your yard and like take a tour of the Louvre.
Yeah.
Or walk around your house and then look at the different paintings and stuff, but on your wall. That's trippy. That is trippy.
That's really cool. It's like holodeck fucking Star
Trek.
I
think that the money behind it and the projects that they've been working with, I think it looks good because they're not just throwing anything out there. I think their vetting process when it comes to the launch pad looks like it's pretty good. So yeah, I like it.
Just tell people to I'd like people to go check the videos out. I just want to highlight them. I didn't mean to spend so much time, but I don't really want to go into a lot of conversation regarding the Ethereum London Hardfork and the EIP 1559, but I just kind of wanted to get your guys' thoughts on what happened. It just activated, everything went through pretty well. We're also seeing, now we're seeing a lot of Ethereum being burned. I think it was like 1,000 Ethereum in the first hour or something like that. I'm not sure if that's
close to it. Okay. I can't. I actually tweeted out when it first hit 1,000. Yeah, I mean it was around that for sure. And maybe a few, but still, I mean it's
how it's performing right now, versus Bitcoin, and how it seems maybe there may be some decoupling where. There's a lot more of a price increase on the end of Ethereum than there is on Bitcoin on the 7-day, even on the daily. So it's really interesting all that's going on, and congratulations to Ethereum for having finally a really successful hard fork with no issues so far. But yeah, what are your thoughts on that, Deezy?
I think it's going to be big. I mean, it went off with a hitch. I think the price action that we saw, because it went live 8:30 Eastern, my time was yesterday, and it was probably about an hour or so later than Ethereum just started pumping. So I think the markets were kind of waiting on the sideline. No one really knew if it was going to pop or dump. I think it was all just contingent upon it working. The gas fees have been a little bit high, but I think that's more due to the NFT craze of late. There's been a whole lot of NFTs clogging the ecosystem, a whole lot of drops this past week. But I mean, it seems to be working. Vitalik, I mean, no one can say he's not a smart guy. He's been pretty consistent with the dates. He's saying, at least for this year. And I mean, I don't know if they got more developers or if they're just all a little bit smarter and wiser when it comes to their ecosystem. But they've been knocking it out of the park lately. So I wouldn't bet against ETH.
There's definitely a lot of action behind Ethereum. I mean, I've talked on around the blockchain about the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance and everything that's involved with it. So I mean, when you look at IOHK developing Cardano, and then you look at all the people on Ethereum, there's a lot more of a head start for sure. I think until you see some disappointment from Ethereum is might when you start seeing some of those people jumping over to different blockchains, but as of now, I don't really feel like I really feel like Ethereum is almost in the same position as like your JP Morgans are with the US government right now, as being just too big to fail. They're just going to be bailed out because of who's involved in the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance and such, which is the largest conglomeration in the history of the world. Sean, you got any thoughts about
it's interesting you say that,
Ethereums?
I was on a World Blockchain Roundtable this past weekend, and we talked about that. How who was I think it was the head of Mintable. He's like, there's no reason Ethereum is a failed Howey test. It's a security. I don't know why it's not. And then Pivot basically said it's because it's too big. They can't. They came out and said it's decentralized enough, and what that means is it's decentralized enough for us to not really be able to control it or mess with it. So it is. I think it has gotten to the point where it's it is too big to fail. I think that this is a really big deal. I do, like you said, there is a little bit of decoupling. I think that's the next stage when it comes to crypto, the market in general. Is there's got to be, because right now it doesn't matter if Bitcoin takes a dump. Whatever project it is going to go down, is going to get hit, and we really need that second big daddy. And we always talk about Ethereum's number 2 and the top 3, but everything's controlled by Bitcoin. It's 100% controlled by Bitcoin, and that's not really a healthy market. If something happens to Facebook, it's going to hit all tech stocks, but not to the level where where you can look at the graph and it's identical. Whatever happened with this project, everything's on track, everything's great, and it had a 30% drop, and Bitcoin had a 30% drop. I think this is really healthy. I think it's really cool. I think we're moving into to like the next stage, which is an exciting time.
Well said.
Yeah. Back to too big to fail. One thing I would like to say, it is too big to fail, and it's not even so much the market cap, it's just the network effect. And just a little background for network effect. Metcalfe's law says the power of a network is equal to its nodes squared. So if you have a network of 10 and a network of 11, the power is actually 100 to 121. So it's not a 10% increase. It's a 20% increase. So with like all the DeFi applications, the NFTs, everything on everything on the Ethereum blockchain, say EIP 15 was a total fail. Let's say we couldn't even use Ethereum for the next week. What were people going to do? Are we going to all of a sudden start using Cardano smart contracts? Right. Are we going to all of a sudden start using Polkadot?
Well, there's no smart contracts on Cardano unless you want to go on testnet.
Right. So it's too big to fail. The network's too big, and it's just too entrenched. I would say it's more entrenched than too big. But because eventually, who knows? Maybe Cardano will pass it 5 years from now. Personally, I don't think it will. But if it does get surpassed, I think it's network effect. We'll just keep it in the top tier for at least my lifetime. Who knows what's going to happen 30 years from now? But for foreseeable future, it's not going anywhere.
You got Coke and Pepsi out, and they're both successful. So, I see, like I mentioned on blockchain earlier, I definitely see there being use cases for multiple blockchains and not one necessarily ruling them all. But I do think that Ethereum will definitely have more going on with it, especially when it comes from an enterprise and institutional element.
Yeah.
But so I guess let's move on to the legislation stuff, which is really kind of alarming. There's a really, really cool article, not cool article, but there's a really cool website that I want people to check out, the fightforthefuture.org, where it's talking about calling your senators to try to save crypto because of verbiage that was being introduced in this infrastructure bill. And this infrastructure bill is going to pass. It's bipartisan. And then there's a lot of things that could be very negative for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. There's some things that are somewhat positive, but then you have 3 different senators, Wyden, Toomey, and Lunis, who have introduced an amendment that would fix the language and clarify that the expansion of the definition of a broker doesn't apply to open source software developers or validators like miners or stakers. And then you have another group of senators, Warner, Portman, and Sinema, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, have introduced a separate amendment that would make the original bill even worse.
Yep.
Then you've got talk from Janet Yellen saying that she is not for the amendment that the Toomey people are trying to do. And then you have the White House confirming support for the minor changes. So it's just like, we're not really sure what the hell is going on, what's being said. I even heard the new SEC chairman guy, there's even talks about redefining Ethereum possibly, and it being a security. I don't know if you've heard the thing about Bitcoin maximalists that have been pushing for changing the regulation on Ethereum to a security.
Mm-hmm.
and how that would affect the industry as a whole. And that's just how much they want Bitcoin to be superior, and that's how much of cult members they are.
Yeah, it is cultist. It is counterproductive. We talked about this on World Blockchain, that Bitcoin maximalists are really, really screwing things up. It doesn't matter if the world burns, as long as Bitcoin is on top of the fire, man.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier.
And because there is money being pumped into it. There is lobbyists out there that are working on the side, but they're working on the side of Bitcoin. And I've made points so many times, and everyone says that these people are so stupid. These legislators are so dumb. The stuff that comes out of their mouth is just idiotic, but they're not dumb. They're intelligent people. But the thing is, they're just like computers. Garbage, it goes in and then garbage comes out, and they don't know anything about this. And all of the information that they've been getting is from their masters, who do not want to see crypto, succeed. So they are being told, oh, this is terrible. Oh, this is used for human trafficking. Oh, this is gonna hurt people. This is the worst thing ever. So they go out there and they're like, this is the worst thing ever. We have to get rid of this. This is only used for human trafficking and drugs and whatnot. And they believe it because that's what they've been told by people that pay them, but by people that they trust. So it's really important to get them the correct information. But it's literally being pumped. 90% of the money that's going there is from Bitcoin maximalists. And they'll even say, oh yeah, that's kind of true for everything else. Oh, this Monero, screw that crap. Oh, that's all burn it all down. It's all terrible. But Bitcoin started as pure, as good. And that's why you see a lot of most of the positive stuff is like, well, Bitcoin can understand this digital gold, store of value, blah, blah, blah. But we really, really need, and there's been talk about which I've been saying for years, like starting a DAO, and then having, funding it from like the community at large, and then have it choose what firms to hire for lobbying, and like what things to promote, and to do that for crypto in general, and keep it transparent and keep it open, where it's not tribal, it's not detrimental to other projects, more of a community driven goal.
Yeah, on the lobbying front, I mean, it seems so simple. Well, there's two things about that. First, Sam Bankman-Fried was the second largest donor for Joe Biden. So, I mean, we see it a little bit, but I mean, for every, Sam Bankman, there's 1,000 people not donating anything. And these other industries are just so powerful, whether it's, waste disposal, construction, banking, tobacco, the sugar industry. So these people, they have so much power. And I mean, you hit the nail on the head right there. If we just had, and I hate to say, random numbers like this, but like 1% of the whales all gave 0.1% to a fund, it would explode. It would be such a large amount of money where we could have a strong lobbying arm. I think the DAO solution is a great solution. The problem is, it's just people aren't really going to trust it unless a big name got behind it. And then, because we are decentralized, we have a lot of people, might not be American, the APAC area, the Europe, Africa. They might not care too much about, lobbying American lawmakers, but if we could somehow just get, some sort of cohesion, and I don't even know if it's Bitcoin maxis, have any kind of negative feelings, but maybe apathy is a better word. Everyone's just kind of sitting on the sidelines, waiting for someone else to solve this issue. But the fact is, like we have to do something. And I like, we could put on the blockchain. You can see, this is where the money went. This is where we paid for flights for these lobbyists to go to DC, and then they went out and, they bought this senator lunch, and boom, it's all verifiable. It's all on the blockchain. And yeah, I mean, we need some sort of solution. So some developer out there, code it, make this DAO. Let's make this a reality. Let's make it happen. This year we're gonna have a big election. In 2022, we're gonna have an even larger election in 2024. I mean, it's already August. Elections. The lobbying for the next election in 2022 is on some level, starting already. So I mean, time is wasting.
Well, and it's also, I mean, it's when you see in this kind of legislation and then like the bills that are being introduced to break encryption and things like that. I mean, people need to either one, get involved in politics themselves, two, contact their local politicians and their local senators and their congressmen and get involved and start caring, because if people don't, then it's just going to go the other way. These people that we vote for, or that you guys vote for, because I don't vote, that's another story, but they're supposed to represent you. And the thing is, now with the technologies that we have today, we can replace the fact of having an individual be elected to represent a group of constituents. We can replace politicians with smart contracts as well, in addition to the DAO thing. I mean, this is just getting to be an absolute mess. When you're looking at this infrastructure bill and how much is going, how bad it is for crypto with the surveillance issues, some of the IRS related stuff for clarity, then, which when a lot of people aren't in crypto aren't necessarily talking about this. Really good article from Cointelegraph talking about the infrastructure bill would add another $250 billion to the debt mountain. So, and we're from an economic standpoint, we have I don't think we resolved the debt ceiling issue, which I think Congress was supposed to resolve. So Janet Yellen's calling for extreme measures. It's just getting really crazy.
I'm really, I don't want to say excited, but I'm very curious to see how this goes. This is one of the first times that
crypto is rallying together.
That's what I'm talking about.
I was thinking about this earlier. Crypto has never been united.
Yeah, this is one of the first times that the crypto community, which is very vocal,
except for the Bitcoin maximalists, they don't care about this.
Is moving on something that's political as a political arm. This is when we see what we're going to do as a political power, and because that's what they're scared of. That's why they're scared of the NRA. It's not just money, it's activism. And crypto, the community has never been called upon for activism really until now. So I want to see how this goes. We could be insanely powerful if everyone actually takes part and starts making some phone calls. I've never understood how Congress really, I mean, you have all of these people and they run, and it used to matter that this guy was married to this woman and what he did and how many kids they had, what the religion was. And there's so many things that they would run on. Look at me. I believe in this, and this is me, and this is my history. And I was in the military, or I ran a business, but none of that matters, man. They could literally now just stand up and wear a shirt that says Democrat or wear a shirt that says Republican, and that's what you get. They don't matter because they vote down the party lines. And you could have a guy that votes for a terrible bill that's bad for the environment, that kills some species of animal, that it's just all around terrible, but it's good for the people in his district. And I can respect that. I can respect that he goes and votes for that. That's going to add terrible for the rest of the world. But for his little people that he represents, it's going to help them. It's going to give them jobs. It's going to improve their lives. I can respect that. And that's how it should be. But it's not that way. People will vote against their own constituents just to follow a party line. It's a joke. It really is a joke.
Yeah, I had to step away from the politics, like party politics is what I should say, years ago, and I've never been happier. I mean, I used to be a little more into, following, the team and saying, oh, this is my team and what my team does is right. But I mean, if you essentially, whether you're Republican or Democrat, if you just follow your team's tenets, you're socializing your thoughts and you're not becoming a clear thinker. So, I mean, you really have to step away and, look at everything. And often, the arguing is just two people not even having the same conversation. For instance, if we're talking about immigration, you're going to have one side screaming about a wall, and the other side is going to say, well, like, what is the limit? It's like people not really even having the same convo. But, back to this bill, I mean, we have two bipartisan amendments, but one is definitely anti-crypto and one is definitely pro-crypto. So, I mean, it is good to see, everyone come together, support the Loomis bill. Back to calling, I mean, us at the office, we actually called our politician this morning, and I mean, they actually had an 8 answer. He listened to us and seemed a little interested. So, I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic that this might end up being, maybe somewhat okay. Maybe this Loomis bill will pass. The Warner Portman Cinema amendment will fail. I mean, but all we can do is just, it's unfortunate that, we live in a democracy, but, we're sitting on the sidelines. We're all united. Everybody who's educated on this issue has, we're 99% in agreement here. It's the banks that want this other one because, they want everyone to be a broker. These banks want everyone to be a broker. They want to have gatekeeping. They want you to have to come to them to buy a Bitcoin ETF, a Litecoin trust. They don't want you to be able to buy Ethereum and then pay a $7 gas fee and then go, do some DeFi and stake and, invest your money and not have to go through the hurdles. They want you to go through the hurdles. So, I mean, it's clearly.
Yeah, and then you got to get a license. You get a license. It puts you in a database. I mean, it definitely. I mean, that's how I felt about even prior to this legislation. The idea of the Lightning Network. I felt like that's what they were going to try to do for those people who were participating. You're going to end up having to get some sort of money transmittal license or something to that effect. But I found it really, really interesting that the White House deputy press secretary comes out basically, saying that he's grateful for Chairman Wyden for his leadership and pushing to the Senate to address this issue. So even though you're having the original bill isn't great, then you have this amendment that now the White House is saying, we appreciate you bringing us to our attention. Now you have, on the flip side, you mentioned the Warner Portman Cinema amendment. This is just completely crazy. And it's bipartisan, which is what's alarming about this. It's not like you're having a bunch of party issues involved in this necessarily.
Yeah, it's almost
in Lunas. I don't know everybody's specific positions, but I know that not everybody of those names that are listed are all on the same team per se.
Yeah, it sounds like a movie theater where they only show Warner Brothers movies starring Natalie Portman. Every time you say Warner Portman Cinema, it just
that's what it does sound like a promo for a movie.
Yeah, they just play a V for Vendetta on repeat, and that's all they have. But when you see politicians, I mean, this is one of the rare instances where, the exception to the rule, when you see your politicians agree, I guess the Second Amendment follows this rule. If politicians agree, it's unfortunate, at least in this country, that it's not to help the people, it's to help themselves entrench themselves in power. A good example is campaign finance reform. Both sides are quite happy with where things are at. Gerrymandering laws, both sides are quite happy where things are at. So when you see politicians agree, it's not a cause to be happy most of the time. It's honestly a cause to closely examine it, see if, this is to just keep them in power. This is to keep, the two-party system entrenched.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy. I'm not a huge fan of politics at all. And hopefully, people will start waking up to all this infighting and bickering and division and things that have been going on in our country.
Dude, I
this infrastructure bill is very
it's
sickening.
Not infighting and bickering. It's cinema. It is. It's wrestling. It's all theatrics. It's
well, if you say that, then that even terrifies me even more as to what is behind the theatrics. What are they hiding? What are they distracting us from with all this theatrical bullshit?
The past month, and this is dude, your channel, and you've always been more diversified than me when it comes to what you put out. Much more open with anarchy, which everyone when they really think about it, if you're a conservative, you're an anarchist. So many people think, oh, I'm just a conservative. No, you're an anarchist, dude. When it comes down to it, And people are like, how can you not be a Republican? How can you? It's like, no, I'm an anarchist. Oh my God, you're Antifa?
Yeah.
All of my friends, you have to explain. It's like, no, dude. I just believe that I don't believe in slavery. I don't believe that you should have to, bow, and how somebody should look at your paycheck after you go make an agreement. You go to someone like, hey man, I like you. I'm going to hire you. I own this business. I'm going to pay you this much money and you're going to work. Yeah, man, that sounds good. That's a good amount of money. I'm looking forward to working for you. And then when it's time to pay you, somebody just made it. It's legalized corruption. Some mob guy comes in. He goes, hold on, takes that check. I'm going to take this, take some of this. Here, you can have this. That's how people get paid. That's how it works. And my nephew was like, bitching about it, and he's like, he was complaining. I was like, what are you going to do if they raise your taxes 50%? If they take half of your paycheck, the next check? I said, honestly. He goes, fuck that. I'm going to do this. I said, really? He goes, no, man, I would complain about it and then I would have to rebudget everything. I said, exactly.
Yeah. And it's funny you say, if you're saying you're an anarchist, you're not, people aren't saying you're far right. They're saying you're far left. But, when the politics separate, they don't just go in opposite lines, left goes this way. They actually kind of make a circle. And when you go to the extreme ends, they actually basically meet again. So, that's kind of what we're seeing here when, people are just getting so hooked up and locked into the fringe societies and, the vocal minorities, saying, oh, the people who I disagree with are like the extreme 5%, and both sides are guilty of it. Personally, that's my viewpoint, at least.
The left wing and the right wing are all part of the same bird, man.
Yeah. It's good. I like that.
Yeah, if you put it in those terms of left wing and right wing, yeah, 100%. And I mean, it's like even like, a baseball or football league. I mean, they all are playing for the same league when it comes down to it. So like, who wins the Super Bowl? The NFL does.
Yeah,
the NFL wins every time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's and that's where I really try to encourage people to really look within themselves and realize the power of change that they can make, and how coming together with other like-minded people, that when enough people take a stand, nothing can stand against the people. And this is where we can see the crypto community and people who are actually concerned rallying and actually walking the walk and doing something to help crypto, because otherwise
that's what I'm excited to see, dude. This is the first time on this scale. Now you can look at things like
and they should have supported Library should have got this kind of attention. The SEC Library suit, nobody talks about that, and that's actually a really big deal, because if Library is found a security, which it most obviously is not, then that would obviously be impactful for setting a precedence within the country. And then, now this is getting all this attention, and I understand why this is important. But that library, I think they have the website LBRY, helplibrarysavecrypto.com. I don't know how much you know about this, Deezy, but
not much. No.
It's a lawsuit. It's a case that needs to have a lot more attention. And I think the two attorneys representing Library, one of which it was on the prosecuting team that found Jordan Belfort guilty, or that got the guilty verdict. So, and then I think somebody who used to work at the SEC potentially, or an SEC related attorney. So, and these things can drag out for like 3 years.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, that's how they want it.
They didn't do an ICO. They did a fair launch. So I'm like, how can it be a security? If there's no ICO involved, if there was no fundraising involved like that, then how is there a security?
I mean, you say how, but we know the answers, because the lines in the sand are shifting as the game is being played. We see that with they're trying to outlaw a lot of these. They're trying to make code illegal, which is just free speech. There's the famous instance where the guy had his code, outlawed, so he printed it on a T-shirt, printed his code on a T-shirt, and said, "So is my T-shirt illegal?" And actually, sold copies of his T-shirt. I think it was the gun manufacturer, the guy who allow you to, I'm careful with my words here, but where you can make it with the 3D printer with the plastic. Yeah. And they said, no, you cannot do that, but well, what happens when you print that code and put it on a T-shirt? Is it still illegal? So yeah, I mean the whole thing is just they're changing the rule. It's like when you're playing Monopoly with your older brother and you're like 8 years old, and then they're like 13, and all of a sudden they're just like, oh yeah, no, free parking has money. They're changing the game as it's being played.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. And when earlier in the week when I first saw information about this, because it was Sunday night that I had heard about this bill, the thing that caught my attention was the fact that I think part of the infrastructure bill, unless it's something separate, includes amendments to the 1933 or 1934 Securities Acts, which would modify the Howey test, updating the terms of what is a security.
You mean they're going to update the law from 1934?
Wouldn't that be nice? So I was going to try to real quick, and we're going to wrap things up here in a few minutes. I told you we'd be about an hour-ish. Deezy, are you good with time?
Yeah. Thank you, KC, for throwing the name. It was Cody Wilson.
Do what?
Cody Wilson was the 3D printer software developer.
Oh, okay, cool. So let me go back to the main screen here, because I wanted to share was something that Sean had sent me a link for before we started, about 30 minutes before we started. I'm not a complete hater on Coinbase. What I'll tell you, actually, a quick story. I smoked herb. Obviously, a lot of people know this, and I was high and tired one night and sent some stable coins from KuCoin to Coinbase. And the reason I'm saying this so open and transparently is because of what happened on the timestamp. So I sent USDT Tether in March of 2020 to a USDC address on Coinbase. Now, if it was my MetaMask wallet, it would have been good. But because it's a custodial wallet, they didn't have Tether. I couldn't access it, so I didn't know. It was like only $300. But when Coinbase added Tether to the wallet, it appeared in my wallet.
I like it.
That's very cool, because I mean, really, there was no term and condition that would have stopped them from withdrawing those funds that were accidentally sent to a wrong address. That would have just been my screw up. And but yeah, when they add it, and then the funny thing is that you can see, because the first time I'm seeing the transaction, it's showing that it was on March of 2020 and shows how many confirmations. It's crazy because it was over a year.
Yeah.
And then the thing that pissed me off was when it had on the Block Explorer, the sending address said KuCoin. Like, it had the address, the public key address, but it also said KuCoin. So it was like identifying my KuCoin account to Coinbase. So I had to start a new Coinbase.
The real question is, what were you doing with Tether in March of 2020? That was the buying time of the millennium almost.
Dude, I was because I usually am pretty fiat poor.
Dude, that was we were just talking about that. That
most of my crypto,
the $99 ETH.
Most of my crypto was not in stable coins. So me selling shit to like survive for a few months or a month and a half until I could get stuff straight. I was just sending a little bit of fundage, and that $300 was like to go buy groceries and stuff. It was like when everybody was starting to go stock up on toilet paper and all that.
Yeah.
So I was trying to do a little prepping, and yeah, dude, it was disastrous.
I sold a bunch of Bitcoin and ETH around January, February that year because I saw the writing on the wall and I knew I wouldn't be able to travel soon. So I sold a bunch, went to like Disney World, did all these things. So then my income wasn't the same. So I didn't rebuy. So I just looked, I try not to look at those transactions when I'm like, it was smart at the time because it kept going down, but then it immediately rocketed up. So
the shouldas, the couldas, the would'ves.
You just learn.
Yeah, we just gotta stop.
Chalk it as XP and learn your lesson and take it to the next level.
Well said. So I would encourage people, go over to Twitter, make sure you're following Deezy over there at Deezy_BTC, and then you can check out also this thread from Mr. Brian Armstrong. There are a few key moments that define our history. One is happening now in the Senate with the infrastructure bill at the 11th hour. Mark Warner has proposed an amendment that would decide which foundational technologies are okay and which are not in crypto, and this is disastrous. And So people should, check out the articles are in the video description below, and except for this right here, which I will add, but you can go to Brian_Armstrong
I think I retweeted that too.
You did?
Yeah. So you can go to my Twitter and follow me and click on it and check it out there. I think we're seeing now, though, is how.
Are you asking for people to follow you on Twitter?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter.
Your way of saying
follow him on Twitter. I'll say it for him. Follow him on Twitter now.
My Twitter sucks. My Twitter sucks. I don't know why I can't get a lot of followers.
Where is
but
this?
It's going to get better starting today.
There's a
with
round
the
table.
Retweet of Brian Armstrong.
I don't see it though. I think you're lying. Unless
you're lying. You're lying. Yep, we caught you in a lie.
It looks like you're lying. Sean.
No, I was waiting for you to do it first.
Hurry up and retweet it. So you got to refresh.
First,
yeah, you definitely didn't do it. It's definitely not on.
But like
that is.
said,
but the Edward Snowden thing that you.
And I thought I could either retweet this or I could send it to Chris. So I chose, because you're my friend, I wanted you to have it more than I was going to retweet.
Why do you have a glowing penis in your mouth here?
I'm going to punch you in the balls, man. I'm going to punch you in the balls, dude.
I like my
red,
penis
white, and
glowing.
blue. It's my spin on it. I thought it looked cool.
It's not glowing, it's glistening.
Glistening, good one. I know you don't get to be as dirty on BitBoy's PG show.
Yeah. Every now I just
you throw in some stuff.
I throw in the lines. I try, but then I'll just act confused when people like try to call me out and be like, "What do you mean?" I said we're edging, like we're getting close to the. That was yesterday's reference.
Oh, by the way, edging. I so far I haven't seen everything that you've done over the past couple of days, but I've watched a couple things and I thought you did an excellent job, man. So
appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you accepting the invitation and come on today.
Yeah, I wouldn't miss it.
Before we wrap up, you got anything you want to promote? Anything you want to add? Because one thing I talked about was your Twitter account. And
no, I mean Deezy_BTC. You can find me there. You can find me there in Instagram as well. I might start making some YouTube content, crypto related. They keep me so busy over there at BitboyCrypto. So my only parting message would be, look at the Loomis bill. Maybe call, it doesn't hurt. Maybe even just leave a voicemail. We got to let people know. We got to let these. Especially the smaller politicians, so one thing, we're not going to change Biden's mind on anything, but we can change these senators' minds. I mean, it's just
these other
try
guys
to be
who want to
optimistic.
Run for president. I mean, there's people who are going to want to get people's votes. So if politicians know this is what the people want, then they're going to go for those things. And you look at the most popular topics; those are the ones that the politicians are using as their key points. So the more you talk about this, the more people put pressure on politicians, the more this will become something.
And if you have to straight up lie, say, look, I'm a crypto millionaire and I'm going to fund your opponent next.
Oh yeah, that would fear them. That's total fear.
So hit them by the short hairs where it hurts. That's my advice.
And also, I'll include you can look up Coin Center. I'm hoping, and I think there are more lobbying groups, but that seems to be the more positive lobbying group that we have working for crypto. I don't know what the ties of Coin Center and DGC might be, but
yeah.
Well, I got to give a shout out to Greg, the founder of Rivet. He's the one that wants to start the DAO in Wyoming, but he wants to do that like every week or every few days. He's like, Sean, we got to start a DAO in Wyoming, and we could do anything.
Rivet,
we'll talk about anything. Yeah.
Rivet, get on it. Rivet to the limit.
I want to say ribbit.
Ribbit. Why would you want to say? Because you're
ribbit
frog.
Because the freaking frogs.
Freaking frogs.
Cool. Well, I definitely enjoyed this, guys. And Deezy, again, man, I really appreciate you looking out and hooking me up with getting me on around the blockchain and stuff.
Man, you're one of our favorite guests.
Thank you. I mean, I'm friends with Ben and Justin and TJ and all them, but for someone else that I wasn't really familiar with to reach out and be cool, I really appreciate it, and that's why I wanted to say thank you, homie.
No problem, man. Pleasure's been mine.
So, all right, dude. Well, I'll be in touch with you. I'm gonna go ahead and bounce you out. Me and Sean's gonna wrap this thing up, or you can see yourself out, either or.
Take care,
everybody. Just educate yourself on the amendment, and let's hope that our politicians don't ruin America's crypto industry, and that's not an overstatement.
Well said, brother.
Deezy out.
Much love. Have a good weekend, bro.
Later on, man.
Stay short.
Bye.
You made it just in time, dude. You're like a professional.
Yeah. That was good, man. It was a good show.
Oh yeah, I enjoy.
Seems like a cool guy.
Oh, he is a cool cat, man. That's why I wanted to have him on here, and I was kind of hoping that by him doing some hosting with on BitBoy Sean and maybe coming on here and maybe doing some other appearances, maybe he would get into element of starting a channel, because I think he's got a lot of value to bring.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of really cool things to bring to the table.
What's your flag behind you, man?
It's not a flag. It's a black. It's my you know, those little things you get for like green screens and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm rearranging my room, cleaning it up, cleaning my studio.
Oh, it's your chair. No, your chair.
Yeah, I've got a black sheet behind me.
Yeah, okay.
With hold on. Hold on. Oh shit. Okay. So yeah, I'm cleaning my room and redoing my studio. And everybody thinks it's like a green screen, but it's just a tapestry.
All right.
So yeah, I'm just
well, your chair blended in, so it looked like the blue thing was some kind of design in the middle of the sheet.
And then I got a stand-up desk.
It looked like a flag.
I had gotten a desk about a month ago. So yeah. Now I'm standing straight up. So this way I can like, and this is as tall as it gets. I haven't done this before, so this would be kind of cool to do. I got my old band banner. We call it Otherhood. Got that above. I've had that up there. And then I
Joke,
got,
yo.
Don't tread on me and my Bitcoin flag, and McAfee in between Bob Marley in the middle, and you can see the top of my bong, my dirty bong.
Your dirty bong.
Yeah, I never do this because I have that tapestry behind me, and it's like right on, like my camera setup.
That's what I call my penis, man. My dirty bong.
Dirty bong. No, it's a pea pickle.
Yeah, it's a pea pickle, dude. Yeah.
Pickle is what my mom used to call my penis. You know, like your parents give you like some sort of weird name to call your stuff, so you don't call it something inappropriate in public.
My mom never did, dude. My mom wanted that stuff. My mother was so.
Pickles and
intellectual.
Pickles and monkeys.
So it was it's a penis, which is weird because I was like a little kid. You know, back in those days, you always said hoo-hoos and noo-noos and whatnot. But you know, it's weird. I forgot the word scrotum and testicles when I was years ago. I forgot those words existed, and my balls were killing me. There was some kind of pain, and I went to the emergency room, and I forgot the word. So it's like,
so what did you call your flesh sack
balls.
with marbles in it?
I was like, my balls really hurt.
Marble flesh sack.
And then I was in the. It was a really funny story because this dude, I was looking at his name, and it was it's like, your name's so familiar. And then I was like, you know, you grew up in Co. I was like, yeah, we started talking. He was older than me. And then he's like, my little sister's, you know, more your age. And then I knew his little sister. I was like close with her. She was like really sweet. She was a freshman when I was a senior. Very innocent girl. And this is later, you know, after I graduated, she was pregnant. And he's like, oh yeah, she's actually pregnant. And just, I blurted it out. I was like, Karina had sex? Of course, I was in pain and in the hospital. But he was like, yeah. I thought she got pregnant. I was like, I'm sorry. It just shocked me that it's not that she's pregnant, but that she had sex. That's weird. Okay.
That's hilarious, dude. Before we bounce, unless something changes because of me having to reschedule, because of the second strike, Nick from Divvy should be on with us next Friday.
That's cool. I like Nick. Nick's a nice guy.
Yeah, it'd be good to catch up with him.
Yeah.
And then we could talk about some future other guests, but I like to keep doing the Friday at 7, unless something changes. I'm doing Friday at 5 on BitBoy's show, so that kind of gives a good little lead in.
Check out the show with me and Lisa and Amy, the Grief Goddess, tomorrow.
Did you guys already do it?
Huh?
Did you guys already do it and she's putting it out?
No, we're gonna do like a live stream.
A go live stream?
A go live stream, yeah.
Live.
It's new,
I've never done
technology.
I've never done a go live.
Yeah, I know it's a new technology, but so we're gonna do that.
I've done a live, but not a go live.
A live. I have done a live. Yeah. I was trying to do a go live on live, but
do you know what time?
Yeah, I said that.
Well, somebody, Andy Lee wants to know. So let's say it again. So Andy Lee,
5 p.m. Central,
which is 6 p.m. Eastern time and 3 p.m. Pacific Standard.
Yeah, and nobody talks about Mountain Time, but okay.
Or 10 o'clock p.m. UK time, or midnight South Africa and Spain. Or it could be the opposite side of the world and opposite time in the AM in Australia or in Asian countries.
Yeah.
So it depends on where you're located.
Well, I'm not sure about other dimensions, what their measurements.
I don't know other dimensional time zones. That's something I got to get acquainted with.
Yeah, you need the app for that.
Yeah. I need to build it. Put it on the blockchain.
Yeah. You need to start a DAO, but also in Wyoming.
I want to start a cow, a centralized autonomous organization.
A cow. Lisa's also having like a meetup in Kansas City, so everyone should check that out. What is that? Is that Zorak? Do you know who Zorak is?
Yeah, I know who Zorak is.
Well, I'm proud of you, dude. Thank you.
Do you know who Zorg is from? Hold on a second. Let me pull it up here.
Do you know who Zardoz is?
Zardoz?
Zardoz.
No.
Barely. Yes, I know who Zog is.
Talking about Zorg.
Zorg, Fifth Element Zorg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people.
Your haircut, you look like.
That's what a lot of people have been saying with my hair, especially when I'm getting it freshly cut on the sides and stuff.
Yeah.
So, that's what I was trying to do is quickly, and you know, Gary Oldman is a cool dude, so I'm not going to take any. People used to say Pee Wee Herman, and that pissed me off. But I can take this one. I'm good.
Yeah.
So we're in the white. My hair, you know, if I want to part it and flatten it, I could totally do the Zorg thing. Like I could be Zorg for Halloween. I just need to find a plastic piece.
Yeah, I was gonna say that plastic thing.
If I could find a plastic thing, I'd start just styling my hair like that and just be Zorg on a YouTube channel, and I'll just be an alternate ego version of myself, and just be like, yeah. Shout out Gary Oldman. Freaking what was it? Tastes like chicken. Tastes like chicken.
What are you talking about? Now you confuse me.
Chicken. That's what she says in the movie. She's eating food and she says it tastes like chicken.
I've watched.
I used to love that movie, dude.
1,000 times, dude. I am a meat popsicle.
Meat popsicle.
I am a meat popsicle. Are you human? No, I'm a meat popsicle.
Yeah, I love it, dude. Cool. Yeah. Well, I enjoyed. Hope this is fun for you.
Always is.
I got some stuff I got to do this evening, but I'll be free tomorrow after like 5 or 6 in the evening if you want to hit me up if you're not doing anything. If you're too busy and you got family stuff going on.
I just said that I'm doing the show tomorrow at 5.
I said after
with
5.
Lisa.
Anytime after 5.
Okay. I was going to go to Comic-Con tomorrow, but now I'm not going to go.
Comic-Con?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
You're going to meet Chang Sung, Lou Ferrigno.
Chang Sung. We have a comic book convention coming to Charlotte or the Concord area very soon, but they have a really crappy group of people, and it includes some of them are wrestlers, WWE wrestlers or former WWE.
Dude, there's a bunch of wrestlers coming.
Like, what does this have to do with comic books or even like? So they have the main bad guy from Saw. Like who the hell?
Saw?
No, like the dude who plays, yeah, Jigsaw.
Yeah. Well,
and I mean, just just a few like things like that. It wasn't like anything. The chick who plays Elvira.
yeah, yeah, I would want to.
Yeah, I'm sure
meet her.
I'm good. I'm good. But yeah, it's a
I
praying
forgot her name
mantis.
now. Yeah.
It's a praying mantis. I love praying mantises. I have praying mantis tattooed on me.
Really? Yes, praying mantises are cool.
And then I have this really because I'm rearranging my stuff. I've got stuff out. So I got my really cool dragonfly. And then
dragonflies.
This is really cool. This is something a friend of mine makes.
That is cool.
It's a spider.
Looks like a face hugger.
But it's got like a button for the head. It's got a light bulb for the body.
Oh, dude, those are like I can see the pieces now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is cool.
So it's like a bunch of like stuff to make.
It looks like a steampunked.
Yeah, like a steampunk spider.
That is cool.
Pretty neat. So yeah.
You know, when I was a little kid, I'll tell you this. Tell all y'all this. It's weird. It's very weird.
I used to put my what was it called again? Your pea pickle. I put my pea pickle inside of my teddy bear.
No, I loved my teddy bear. I would never do that.
That's exactly why you would love your teddy bear.
No, I would not do that to my teddy bear. Anyway, it's fucking Winnie the Pooh, man.
Winnie the Pooh?
No, it was Winnie. It was just a bear.
Oh, it's like Winnie
I named
the Pooh.
him Winnie, and then I gave him my favorite shirt because I loved him. So I took off my Charlie Brown shirt and I gave it to my bear. Like, you can have that shirt, man. Anyway, I thought that I controlled dragonflies and that I was like the king of the dragonflies. But what's weird is I actually did control dragonflies. It's very odd. I know, but when I was a little kid, man, I freaked out other kids. So like, oh yeah, man, I control dragonflies, and I lived down at the coast, and there'd be like swarm of them up above me, and I would just start
hold
like
out
running.
your arms, and they'd all like fly on
you. They would that.
Now, if they can make you fly, like pick you up and carry, that would be awesome.
This is reality, man. Okay, I was just could tell them what to do, but I could make them fly in certain directions, and they would follow me when I'd run around, and it was weird. And I told my kids about it, and we went to the lake. And there's not a lot of dragonflies in Texas. And my hand was out of the water, like just a little bit. And a dragonfly just came and landed on my finger. And I was like, I told y'all I control the dragonflies. I was like, go on. But yeah.
I need a plastic thing.
Can make me watch Fifth Element.
Yeah, I want to watch it. I'll probably watch it this weekend. I might. Depending on what I'm waiting to hear back for somebody about a Sunday stream. If I don't hear from somebody, then I'm probably gonna take some Fungus Among Us on Saturday afternoon.
You know, Lisa sent me stuff on mushrooms, and I forgot that they're not a vegetable or an animal. They're their own kingdom. They're between
fungi. Yeah, like actually, the networks that fungus have connected are I think like probably one of the most inhabited species on the planet.
It is. There's like 10 times or something more. Maybe, I don't know. There's a lot more, and it's ridiculous how much more species of fungus there is than plants.
You want to hear something crazy? Imagine like tapping into nature and utilizing our natural resources for things that we do in today's world. And let's say, for example, replacing the internet with something like a fungal neural network. Because the network, because the fungus network has already created an ecosystem all around the planet. You know, and it's all and the fungus communicates with each other, so it's already kind of like a neural network. So it's just utilizing the aspects of nature and incorporate it in technology to make it more harmonious with creation, as opposed to a lot of the shit that we have, which destroys creation.
They look at the mycelial network.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, the mycelium network is the network of the fungi.
Yeah.
Mycelium and fungi are pretty much like interchangeable.
I wonder if if fungi was meant to be like the bridge between animals and plants in nature.
Well, okay, what are all antibiotics made from?
Chemicals.
All antibiotics.
Yeah, well, all of them.
Fungus.
All of them are. I know most of them are. I don't know.
All the psyllins, all that stuff.
All the psyllins, yeah.
I'm pretty sure all antibiotics come. If I'm wrong on something, please correct me. Comment in the video description. I like to learn. I'm not going to look it up, but I believe all of our antibiotics come from a fungus.
Yeah.
So there's some sort of relationship between our species, some sort of something. I don't necessarily say that we've evolved from mushrooms, but if you really want to go down a crazy rabbit hole, check out Paul Stammet. He's like, you can watch some stuff on YouTube. He's been on the Joe Rogan show.
If you want to rock out, check out Paul Stanley.
Paul Stammet and Paul Stanley. Paul Stammet has a hat that's actually made like a kind of like a cowboy looking folk hat made from mycelium. From mushroom.
That's cool.
Pretty neat. It's almost leather like.
Well, there's so many
different breeds.
Yeah, it's
species. Crazy. Yeah, it's cray.
My cousin's husband grows the funny mushrooms.
That's what I'm going to take on Saturday potentially.
Oh, you don't say. I didn't get that from what you said. Yes.
Yeah. I was trying to be a little bit incognito. I'm going to take some psilocybin trippy mushrooms so I can have a psychedelic experience.
Psilocybin to get psychedelic?
That will make it a little spiritual because I don't do it for recreation.
That would be very difficult to say.
So it all depends on whether or not I have a 1:00 p.m. stream because I'm streaming tomorrow at 1:00 p.m. and then I'm not doing anything tomorrow. And then Sunday I've got.
Dare you to take the mushrooms and then do the stream, but don't tell anyone.
I don't know if I could do that. I thought about it, but I don't know if I could do that. And it's like I don't do it for. Like I get withdrawn when I do them, so it's not like I don't know how I would be with lights and camera and action.
Yeah, I don't know how I would be. Period. Never had.
I remember tripping on LSD when I was like 16 years old and being at a Taco Bell, and how that experience scarred me because it was like I was like tripping balls right in front of a Taco Bell. I couldn't go inside. My friends went inside. I couldn't. It just like I was like, I'll wait outside.
That's how I am with marijuana, dude.
And dude, I'm looking at this building, and I'm like, they took a little piece of Mexico and planted it right here. And it just felt really artificial and out of place. And
my friend of mine is a doctor, right? And when he became a doctor, it was really weird because we used to party all the time. And he was like, he would go over, he was like, he did cocaine and I never did that stuff. So he's a doctor. I bring my kids to him. He's a podiatrist, right? And my kids like really freaked out. Like he doesn't like to give blood, no shots. I remember it was like, we're just going to take some of your blood. He was like 7. He's like, no, it's mine. It's in my body. You can't have it. But I told him he's going to do this like surgery on his foot, like to remove an ingrown toenail. It wasn't a big thing. But he said, I'm going to prescribe him some Valium, or he gave him something. It was maybe it was a Xanax or something. I don't know. But he was supposed to, because he was like, 11 or 12. He was supposed to give him 0.1 milligrams. And he wrote it for 1 milligram. So it was 10 times the amount it's supposed to be.
Oh, wow.
So he's like, give that, supposed to give it to him like half an hour before. So I give it to my kid and he was gone. And then I was like, dude, you fucking drugged my kid. He's like, oh, fuck, Sean, I'm sorry. But we're just laughing. And he's like behind his nurse, just like, oh my God, this is hilarious.
That's
my
funny.
son was like, look, there was a picture of a palm tree. And he's like, hey, that picture, that's like a portal to the palm tree. We could go there if we want to. But I'm cool just looking at it. I don't know where it is. But that's the way to get there. And he just like, it was funny. I was like, Nick, just don't talk. All right.
That's awesome.
Just don't say anything. We'll go get a Happy Meal after this.
All right, dude. Well, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to get me something to eat and chill for the night.
Yeah, me too.
If you need something, holler at me. I'm going to throw up this thumbnail and play my little promo that I made and then turn the stream off. Anything you want to add?
No, man. Love you, dude. Love all y'all. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button. Crush it.
Yeah, and check out Satoshi Sean's channel. Links down below. Much love. If this just happens to be your first time ever watching any of my videos, I do encourage you to check out and explore my channel. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with my videos as they come out. Also, due to all the recent censorship, make sure you subscribe to my backup channel, RiceTVX2, The Sequel. And I've also recently deleted more than half of my videos on my main YouTube channel, which means you can find 100% of my content plus exclusive videos over on Odyssey and Library. If you haven't already, be sure to visit ricetvx.com and sign up for the mailing list so that you never miss an update or new Rice TVX content. You can also find all my social media links as well as merchandise that is coming soon. If you'd like to support the channel directly, consider joining my Patreon, where I have 3 different levels of membership, or if you'd like to send a direct contribution or tip, I have my Cash App information, PayPal, and my CoinTree link for cryptocurrency addresses listed below in the video description. Take advantage of my partnership with Money Metals Exchange. Get your free half ounce of silver. All you need to do is be a first-time buyer, visit moneymetals.com, purchase a minimum of $100, and use the promo code RICE. You get that free half ounce of silver, and it's another way to support the channel.